imekaa mbaya mbaya. We'll have to survive. We have to move on. We have to survive. So I thought, my 18th birthday came. I was good to go. 19th, I'm good to go.
So I completely forgot about the incident, funnily enough.
So this thing started hitting me proper at 20.
I got triggered again in Form 1 when crazy, but this preacher came on telling people about how people who are not virgins were going to hell and what's not, and then it hits me like, oh my God, I love Jesus, but now I'm not going to heaven.
So my dad and I had a fallout.
And that is when every single thing started coming back to my mind, like, oh yeah, so this is what happened.
So my dad told me to get the hell out of his house, so I left. So it's the kind of things that I went through after getting out of his house. The struggles, the having to constantly explain to men that they did not have a right to my body, just access me whenever they want. And this, this got me into violent spaces where sometimes, hey manze, nilikuwa violent. Thank God for therapy, manze.
This one time, my mom said, as much as I see this therapy thing being so expensive, I think you will need to go for it so that you can heal. And maybe as much as we say that it won't really help you, but you really need to go and just see. It doesn't hurt to try. So I went to Aga Khan and I think I got the best therapy there. And I tried talking out to her about it and just trying to make sure that this therapy was worth. I was actually just going there and talking to her because I was saying I am not going to let my mom's money go to waste. It has already been paid, so let me just go and talk to her about it. So I went and talked to the therapist, and after I think little by little I started healing.
Thank God for therapy. I used to be violent. Like, ningepata na wewe ufanye ngwe gita. Like that was just it for me. Tulikuwa tunapigana. But then thank God for therapy. So for me, that is the point when nikaanza ku see the aftermath of what had happened to me. I became unwell.
Guilt, shame, self-esteem issues. I was very suicidal, and then I went on the road of self-harm. I used to punch myself, and usually it was in my stomach because it's a place no one can notice. But the whole goal of that was I don't want to feel so much pain in my mind because I'm feeling a lot of things and I don't know how to handle it. So probably when it's on my body, I don't know. Anyone who's been dealing with self-harm could understand this better, but if it's in my body, I don't have to deal with it in my mind.
And I was just there trying to be strong, but I was breaking down so much. I would close myself in a bathroom and will just cry, and my mom will just wonder. I am someone who usually takes the shortest time bathing, but these days I will take so long, and they will wonder, hey, I wrote Kuzunaoga for long, but I was just there crying.
Mentally, physically, I was constantly sick. I lost weight. I was always stressed.
I went into a very dark place. I got depressed.
I remember just staying in the house for more than 2 months, not getting even outside just for the sun.
I was always worried if the man in front of me or behind me or by my side is going to ruin my life at whichever point that they want.
It was so traumatizing for me that every time I walked, even during the day, and I just saw a group of young men on the road, I would be scared to go towards that direction. And a lot of times in the art world, my friends usually tell me, you keep working with your brothers. When do we get a chance to katia you? But they just don't know that these people, I don't know if they enjoy working with me, but I feel sometimes they just work with me because they know this is their only way of protecting them, and this is of protecting me, and this is the only way that they can be sure nothing that happened to me last time will repeat itself, or I will get to be raped again.
And every time I would get people coming to me like, hey Max, I like you, I would run.
You're afraid because he's a man, he could hurt me, and ABCD could happen.
The other direction, you're like, hey Maxine, say the number, gone. Hey Maxine, gone. Like, there was no way I was having a discussion with you. Like, so that you can just access me wherever you want. Because you can. Because you have the power and the muscles, and I don't. At that point, I knew that something was wrong. So I think at 21, I came to Kisumu to study. And one time I beat up someone. And that was the turnaround for me. I decided to start. I beat up someone so bad, they were in the hospital, by the way, for some days. Because sikumpiga kidogo. Niliweka nguvu yangu ya Kiluya na Kikisii na Kijaluo zote nilimixed, and then I beat up this person. Simply because, it's not simply because, but because they had touched me kwa waist kutoka nyuma without, like, this, you know, the way they have somebody anapita alafu anakushika raha akipita kiendanga. That was enough for me. I beat up the individual mpaka, as in ilikuwa kesi. Mimi ningekuwa jela. Ilikuwa kesi. So I said, wow. Just amepita amenishika, ndio maana nimempiga hivyo. Because nilimpiga proper, by the way. I just picked a rock and nilikuwa nampiga kwa face. So I said, okay, now it's time. So I started going through therapy.
I get into this relationship with this guy, awesome guy. Almost every single woman I meet always has shit to say about their boyfriends. I don't have anything bad to say about those guys. They were awesome human beings. And so he says, because I'm so volatile and I love you, but I haven't understood how to love myself, and you think I'm awesome, but I don't think that, and I'm struggling with a lot of things. And so he was like, you know what, I love you, I want to build a future with you, but I think you may need to go for therapy because this, where it is, it's something that I cannot help with.
Back then, I had a very supportive boyfriend, and he came back and he really supported me throughout this process and really supported my family. And I remember him asking me to leave because he felt maybe these people just wanted to attack me and they were not even after my family. So when he asked me to leave, I felt so much guilty because I felt this is a family that has taken care of me when all these were happening, and now I just want to leave and go and stay with someone who I don't know their family, and stay with someone who I don't know if their family will give me the support that my family is given. And I also felt that my family really needed me to be there so that I can heal, and I can heal with them. But sometimes they usually say you have to step out of the problem so you can see if you can heal. So when I discussed this with them, my brothers really supported me and said maybe if I got a new environment, I would heal from the trauma, and also maybe they would get space to also heal and just not look at me as some small girl that they need to take care of. So I left Kenya and I went away, and I think for 2 years I was just on a healing process, and I stayed away from all the incidents, from all the people that I thought had done this to me.
But how you handle this going forward, honey, it's totally on you. So I remember starting on therapy. I remember quitting a lot of times because sometimes my therapist would make me have to face some things that I wasn't ready to just talk about and whatnot. But then you come back the following month and she's like, yeah, so let's talk about it. Did you find an answer to my assignment?
My relationship and sexual life has never actually changed or been the same. I think there are some things that just stick with you. It doesn't take 8 years for you to get better, or 10 or whichever amount of years. Healing is different. Let me just put it that way. Healing is different.
So I decided to stick with it anyway. I was like, what's the harm in trying if this is going to help me? And I'm born again, so I'm always saying it's been years and years of affirming who I am in Christ and therapy.
I felt I really needed to heal for my brothers. I felt I really needed to heal for my mom, and just hoping that one day all these things will go away and I will just heal, and they will forget about it, and they will not even remember that such an incident ever happened to their sister or ever happened to their daughter. So my mom is saved, and on that day when we were raped, she had gone for Kesha. I felt that she was really blaming herself.
When I told my mom that ABCD had happened to me, and I have never seen, that was the first time I saw my mom cry. That was the first time I saw my mom cry.
And she felt maybe if she had not gone for the Kesha and she stayed home and waited for me, she would have had me knock the gate, and she would have been there to open the gate, and these boys would not have raped us. And I remember also my brothers really felt that they really needed to have been there for me. Maybe if they went with me to the event, they would have been there to protect me. They felt there was so much guilt in their faces, and they would stay up all night waiting for me to fall asleep. And my brothers would just, any slight thing at night would trigger them to just go and look at it. And for the longest time, there was no peace in our house. And for the longest time, I really felt that this thing was scaring us. And I've never thought that I would say this again in details. So
sometimes parents of survivors tend to blame themselves, like, if only I was a better person, if only I had done ABCD, maybe this wouldn't have happened to you. But I do not exactly think it is anyone's fault, and anything has happened, if anyone is to blame, it's the perpetrators.
And I really felt I needed to be strong for them to feel that this thing wasn't really affecting me. But deep down it was affecting me so much. And
for some of us, it takes longer. For some people, it takes a shorter time. Alafu, there's need to understand what your trauma is.
Almost my life was going back to normal, and then again, we got attacked in the house. And I remember those people, they were flickering our eyes, and they were saying, "Ekeni kichwenyu chini, and anyone who looks up, I am going to kill." So I saw a panga raised on a shadow because it was dark, and they were just having torch on a shadow, and I nikalalia mama yangu, and when I laliad her, the panga was going to hit her neck. So when I laliad her, the panga got my head, and I was cut so deeply. And I remember telling my mom, the same voice that has attacked us again is the same voice that raped me. And then the guys just said, "I'm to recognize," and then they ran away. So this thing really affected us so much, and we were even thinking of leaving the place where we were staying, which is our own house, our own compound where my mom had bought. And it was just going to be so much hell for her trying to go and find somewhere else to rent. My brothers really hated this thing, and I remember for the longest time we slept during the day, and during the night we were all awake, just waiting and saying we hope they come back so we can catch them. And I think it's something that someone cannot be proud of. It's something that you cannot say that as a family you are happy that you cannot sleep in the night when everyone else is sleeping. It's traumatizing that my brothers really felt that they needed to be watchmen for our family. I remember even one of my brothers left his job from Nairobi to just come and stay in Kisumu and just take care of us.
Kuna mtu mwenye alislapiwa tu akakuwa traumatized. Kuna mtu alikuwa probably defiled at 10 by 5 men or 10 or 50 or by 5 women or 10 or 50 or by 5 whatever. But then they healed. So healing is different. For me, I'm still in the process. Sometimes I sit down and I cry.
Healing is a journey, and literally where I am right now, I still have moments when I'm triggered, I still have moments when I feel like shit, I still have moments when I'm depressed and feeling low and having anxiety and panic attacks. I do, but that does not change the fact that I'm on my journey.
With this my pretty face, yes. Sometimes I just sit there and I'm just crying, not because it is because I am not doing well or whatever, but because sometimes you think about the things that you've had to endure. At the moment, people did not believe stuff that you were telling them.
So I did my class 8 in 2014. Nikaenda high school. So high school in 2017, vile tulifunga, in 2015 sorry, vile tulifunga nikarudi home. Nikasikia eti huyo mwalimu alishikwa. Ndio nikauliza alifanya nini this time? Wakaniambia eti kuna mtu wa class 6 alimpea mimba, and then venye alimpea mimba mamake akaamua kumchukulia hatua, so akashikwa. Hadi right now bado ako hapo maximum prison, hii ya Kisumu kwa Diaga maximum prison. So mimi kuna vile nilifurahi because uni mtu si once, si twice alikuwa anafanya hizi vitu. Alikuwa anafanya like kila time, but mtu angechukua action because he was the best teacher. Ana produce marks nzuri. So mimi I was happy when I had that.
Every single survivor, in as much as some people prefer that we'd call anyone who's been through sexual violence victims, I don't believe that. Yes, it happened, it was painful, it destroyed you literally, because that is what it does. But then you are here and you're still trying to live on, in as much as you may be dealing with a lot of things, and you're still trying to make the world a better place so other people who may have gone through what you have gone through. And for me, that is a survivor. For me, that is a warrior. For me, that is a soldier. For me, that is a champion. So I'd just like to tell every single one who's been through sexual violence, whatever form it was, that it is possible to heal. It takes time.
I wouldn't say that you'll get better, but I would say the things around you will help you to get better.
Honey, you will heal. But then you have to just start from the place of, this happened, it wasn't my fault. I don't care what everybody else has been telling you or what you have been telling yourself. It wasn't your fault. The fact that someone else could not even be in control of their minds or their emotions, of their thoughts, of their desires, that wasn't on you, honey. So number one, it wasn't your fault. And two, just remember that it is possible to heal, it is possible to love yourself again, it is possible to become, it is possible to evolve, and there is nothing that is stopping you.
Because on your own is no, it cannot work. You'll need people. This thing of I do not need people, I'll do better on my own. It's a problem.
And having such a great support system, from my mom to my sisters to my brothers to my best friends, people who you can just call up and say, I'm feeling like...
And I'm so happy and grateful for the family that I have and for the friends that have supported me throughout this journey. And the healing process has been amazing, and I have great friends and great parents that have been there for me. And I'm just so glad that this gets to happen, and I'm glad that I'm getting to share this after a long time.
Why can't we? Because the more we stay quiet, the more we stay silent, is the more these things keep happening and destroying the future generations. So my takeaway point is, let's break the silence, let's go out there, let's heal, and let's just love on ourselves.
Hope my story gets to make another girl comfortable, gets to make another boy who may have been defiled or have been sexually assaulted, I just hope that one day we will get justice.
And to every single one who's an enabler, and we may not want to accept this, but the enablers sometimes, they're your parents, they're your friends, they're your siblings, they're your neighbors. You know someone is doing something that is hurting the community, and you're just there like, oh, he's my husband, oh, he's my brother, oh, he's my friend, what can I do, he's my pastor. No, it is time that we change the narrative. I don't care who you are or how close we are. If what you were doing is hurting people, then you deserve to face the law. So if you're an enabler to any perpetrator, it's time to stop, because you're not only destroying that one girl. If someone has abused one person, one boy or one girl, probably they're abusing so many other people. You may not just know. And if you are someone who has been raped before, or defiled before, or sexually assaulted in any way, it is hard, but can we report these cases?
And to these people that are doing this, I hope you find it in your heart and see that you do not need to hurt people so that you can feel men enough, or you do not need to hurt people so that you can feel that you are in authority.
It's a problem. So you need people, you need things, you need food, you need good sleep.